Hello and welcome back to the Reach a Life. It's Wednesday. That means it's time for some workplace wisdom. Today, I'm going to give you 5 quick tips about working better remotely. There are a lot of people who are suddenly working from home. There may be no end in sight to you working from an office again. I have a couple of experiences working in remote workplaces, and here are 5 things that I have found to be really, really helpful. Number 1, use video in your meetings. I cannot tell you how many workplaces people are used to being in the office every day. They move to working from home and they're taking calls all day. Calls are the devil, okay? Do not take them. Use video conferencing. Use Zoom, use Google Hangouts, use whatever, but use video in your meetings. We lose so much communication. And we miss so much when we're not looking at people's faces and we're not looking at their expressions, and you risk talking over one another. You risk silencing people in your calls when you're just all on a call. Use video. It's 2020. It's time to use video. I know it can be a tough transition, but workplaces that utilize video calls more will have more effective and productive workplaces when their team is remote. Thing number 2, start and end your day with a workplace ritual. When you work in an office, you usually have some sort of ritual or routine, even if you don't know it. You go in and then you see your coworkers at this group of desks, so maybe you say hi and then you get coffee and you kind of settle in, and then you open your computer. And when we leave, it's like you pack up your stuff, you get ready to go, all of that stuff. Having that type of ritual when you start and end your workday trains our brain to be like, now I am working and now I am not working. When you're working at home, your boundaries are going to get blurred because you work and live in the same space. What I encourage you to do is to have some type of ritual around starting and ending your day. For me, what I do is I go to my work desk with my cup of coffee, turn on my computer, put on my headphones, and that's the start of my day. For the close of my day, I literally lower my standing desk so I hear that zzz noise, and then clean my desk and then leave. I'm very fortunate to have sort of carved out workspace, which I'm going to get to in a minute. That has made a huge difference in starting and ending my day. One note for these people that are like, you have to wear work clothes to start your day. That's just really unrealistic. Like, don't wear a bathrobe to your video meetings with your boss, but not everyone needs to have like changing of clothes as part of their ritual. The important thing is to have one. Number 3, a dedicated workspace. I want to note that for so many people, this can be a really tough thing to accommodate given your living situations and your access to space and things like that. But dedicating a section of your living space that is where you work, and pretty much that's the only thing you do there, is really important. It can be a particular spot on your couch. It can be a particular chair. It can be in a particular corner of your closet. It can be an office. It can be a desk. It can be a table. But really carving out space that says, when I'm in this space, this is when I'm working. And conversely, when I am not at this space, I'm not working, is really, really important. Again, it gets us to establish boundaries in our mind by establishing boundaries in our physical space. And so that way we mitigate a thing that often happens, which is we feel like we're working all the time when we're working from home because we don't have any separation. Number 4, document things. You'll see companies that are all remote have high cultures of documentation. If you can't get your company to adopt more of a documentation culture, build it for yourself and for your teams if you're a manager. What do I mean by this? I mean that key decisions, processes that people use on the regular, policies, all of those things need to be written down and need to be shared and saved somewhere where your team and your company can access it. When we work remotely, we often work in different time zones. We don't necessarily have the same habit of being able to turn to our left, asking someone a question and getting an answer right away. What we need to rely on instead is documents. You rely on documentation to unblock you from your work on a day-to-day basis. When you have less reliance on in-person communication, documentation can be a real game changer for you at work. Managers, if you're watching this, please, please, please think about adopting more documentation. I know it can take a lot of time and it can feel like a real time suck, But as you get caught up in your documentation, maintaining documentation can become a lot easier, and it makes a huge difference in the long run, especially for remote teams. And number 5, this one is for all of my introverts like me out there who don't hate working from home. Please make an effort to socialize, especially in places where in-person large group events are no longer possible right now. Being able to be intentional about attending workplace virtual events, even if they are tedious, even popping by for a few minutes can make a big difference. Reaching out to coworkers that you don't know and saying, hey, do you want to have virtual coffee or virtual lunch? When we know people at work and we've built relationships with them, we tend to have more compassion and empathy and overlook the annoying things about our coworkers. We tend to be more forgiving. That's just how we are as people. When we know someone's favorite food and we, are aware of someone's hobbies, or we know that someone just adopted a dog, or we've seen their house plants, we're building a rapport with them that allows us to work better together at work. And we are very social creatures, and even for those of us who aren't super social, building relationships with the people that we work with is so important. It's also really important for new employees that enter remote workplace environments. It can be very isolating to be an employee that has started and everyone else already knows each other because they were working together in an office and you're the new one. So really reaching out to those people and making an effort to schedule lunches, schedule a weekly team meeting where you don't talk about work, but you just kind of share what's going on. It doesn't have to be long, but consistent check-ins can make a difference. And again, if you're using video, you will also get to know about someone's life a lot more. With that, it's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. You can do this. Take good care, stay safe, stay sound, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.